I mean, look, we're going to have a big problem with this, and I think we knew this in after 2016. But we're going to have a big problem with increasingly a ill-informed public, right? And there's two dynamics that are clearly in effect during this midterm. One is Donald Trump is trying to motivate his base, and it does seem to be working, to come out and vote by scaring them with notions of a caravan of who knows how many hundreds it could be people by the time they get to the border. But they are now on foot over a month away traveling on foot. There are now 5,200 U.S. military personnel with helicopters and barbed wire that are, I guess, ostensibly waiting for them, spending hundreds of millions of dollars, it's anticipated. This little kabuki theater is going to cost.
Should have let me have the parade.
There you go. We should have let him have the parade. But, and I'm telling you this right now, you're not going to hear much about this after Tuesday because it's just not going to have the salience. Maybe at one point Trump will announce, like, we scared him off. We scared him off, so we're bringing the military home. One of the dynamics is going to be what it tells us about this country in terms of their motivation based upon their disdain for brown people. The other thing is have Republican candidates successfully run from the fact that the Republican Party wants to destroy the good stuff in the Affordable Care Act patient protection bill. I have said many times, the best parts of the ACA PPI were the patient protection initiatives. That is, pre-existing conditions, you cannot be denied insurance, and you cannot be overcharged for insurance as a way of denying it. You cannot have lifetime caps. You can't have yearly caps. You can't have rescission. In other words, you have health insurance that's taken away when you need it. You're under 26, you can be on your parents' programs. There are certain 10 essential benefits that health insurance must provide to actually constitute insurance. That's being undercut by the garbage that Trump is giving waivers for. But nevertheless, and like I said, there is a Republican-led lawsuit against the U.S. government, which the DOJ has argued in favor of, as opposed to defending against, that would do away with all this. In the meantime, you have Republican congresspeople, all of whom voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act and get rid of those things, and now they're trying to pretend that they didn't. In states, Republican-controlled states, you had Republican leadership denying the expansion of Medicaid. Remember, the first year out, that expansion of Medicaid is $0 it costs the states. Down the road, it can cost up to 10% of the cost goes to the states. Here is a clip of a debate. This happened last night or this weekend?
Last week, like
Thursday or Friday of last week. In Ohio's 12th district, Danny O'Connor is the Democrat running. Troy Balderson is the Republican. Is Balderson he's not a sitting congressman, is he? But listen to Danny O'Connor. I have a feeling this might be a district that is not flipped, but a one where we have resignation. But here it is.
Do you also oppose Medicaid expansion? Because 1 in every 3 people in Muskingum County are on Medicaid. So that means if you're watching at home tonight, look to your right and look to your left. Troy Balderson doesn't want one of you to have health care. You need that health care. We need that health care to ensure that we can fight back against opioids. Folks with breast cancer need that health care so that they can live to see their grandkids. People who work hard, who pay their taxes, who do everything right, need to have health care so that they can live a happy, healthy, and safe life. But when you have folks like Troy Balderson who want to take that health care away, you can't do that. When I'm in Congress, I'll fight for you. I'll fight to make sure that your pre-existing conditions are covered. I'll fight to safeguard Medicaid expansion because I know what it means to people here in Zanesville.
Danny, when we did the state budget, and we look at everything, and I served on the Finance Committee when we did this, over 50% of our state budget is Medicaid. So what do? We go in and we look at it. There are other ways. There's reform methods. In the state legislature, we have reformed Medicaid. We have looked at it. We have addressed issues. We have saved $200 million in the last 3 GAs working on Medicaid and making cost
Well,
come
if that's
down.
how much a life is worth from someone who doesn't have health care access.
You can still provide health care. This is not about taking
One in every
anything
3
away.
people in Muskingum
Danny,
County are on Medicaid.
I want health care for everybody.
One in every
I
3,
want health
Troy.
care for everybody. I want
We
people
need
to have
more
access to
compassion
health.
in government for working people.
And
Don't
we
you agree?
and we can do
Then
that.
why do you want to throw people off their health care?
I'm not going to throw them off their health care.
You just said you oppose Medicaid expansion.
That's not throwing
One
them off
in
their
every 3
that
of your
is
neighbors
not
here.
throwing them off their health care.
If they don't have Medicaid, where are they going to go?
That is not throwing them off their health care.
One in
We have
every 3.
we have fairly qualified health centers in this community.
Well, you said counties don't even have doctors.
Danny, there are some counties out there that don't.
No, there aren't. If you're watching this tonight, just Google it.
The accessibility.
Every county in your old Senate district has a doctor. All you got to do is go on Google, and you'll find them.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, pause it. So this
He
guy,
cedered it.
Yeah, exactly. Now he is the sitting representative in Ohio's 12th because Tiberi resigned, and he was elected. I think just this in this August, just to fill in the special election to fill his seat. But he was a former Troy Balderson was a former state rep, and the bottom line is, if you're going to throw people off their Medicaid and you don't have a plan to provide them with some other type of health insurance, I don't know where you're going to get the money from if it's not this federal program that's going to come in and pay for it. But they have had to adopt this position. And now they find themselves in this rather unenviable position where they thought for 7 years, as the Republicans were voting to crash the ACA, and it was just a sort of, it was a mantra, and now it's clear that they have no other plan. The only thing they can say is, generically speaking, I don't want people to lose their health care, but in terms of everything I'm proposing, it's for people to lose their health care. So they have a bit of a problem, and the best they can do is just sort of smile and look.
You can almost smell him anxiety sweating.
And these two ran against each other in August in that special election, and apparently O'Connor lost by something like 1,500 votes out of 200,000 votes. So,
Do we just want to take the last 30 seconds of this again?
yeah, let's just do that because it's and I don't even know in August if this exchange had the resonance it has now, because we're seeing this across the country where, you know, in Arizona, for instance, where the Republican is just like, literally lying about the votes that she took and just hoping that the people hearing, like the reporters say, but you took that vote.
And then whining to Sean Hannity about it.
Right.
They're kicking my ass for it.
Exactly.
And we can do
Then
that.
why do you want to throw people off their health care?
I'm not going to throw them off their health care.
You just said you oppose Medicaid expansion.
That's not throwing them
One
off their
in every 3
that
of your
is
neighbors
not
here.
throwing them off their health care.
If they don't have Medicaid, where are they going to go?
That is not throwing them off their health care.
One in
We
every 3.
have fairly qualified health centers in this community.
Well, you said counties don't even have doctors.
Danny, there are some counties out there that don't.
No, there aren't. If you're watching this tonight, just Google it.
The
Every
accessibility.
county in your old Senate district has a doctor. All you got to do is go on Google, and you'll find them.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on unless you have something to add, Congressman Balderson.
I have nothing to add.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, wow. He even got the disappointed principal treatment from the moderator.
Right.
That
Oh,
cut
that's
was
brutal.
so comical.
You got anything else you'd like to add? You've been totally humiliated. You're in a sweat now. Your lies are so transparent and embarrassing. Even the liberal shows that will mock you later for this will be uncomfortable watching you.
Right.
Is there any attempt you'd like to make at a recovery here? I'm assuming no, because that was pathetic. Next.
Damn it.
The cut back to the moderator seemed like something out of Vic Berger, actually.
Oh, definitely. That was real life. Maybe the camera guy watches Vic Berger videos.
But that's the dynamic that we're seeing across the country. I mean, the other dynamic is that you have like some candidates who are literally saying, the Republicans saying like that the Democrat is more aligned with Trump than they are. But that is the dynamic that's happening. For the most part, Democrats are leaning on healthcare as a major talking point. And
Good. That's what they should have been doing all along.
well, I mean, I think that's what they've been doing in these races.
Shut
There's
up.
a lot of evidence that that's the case.